Right. Oh my god, so much hair. I thought I could kind of get ready with you and talk about my next topic of conversation, which is definitely about the current situation we are in and how I cope. So obviously everyone knows that we're in COVID, and it's almost like, sorry, my mirror's not this way. So there's so many different situations with COVID and self-isolation. People are more alone. People with social therapy, they now are struggling, like they can't go to get their therapy that they normally get. A lot of people live their life for the weekend and things like that, and now they can't. And I feel like that is a problem. And you know, with mental health and Mental Health Awareness Week, this video is just going to be all about, very laid back, like how people are supposed to cope. So firstly, yeah, you might not be able to go see your friends. I don't know why I'm doing my hair before my skincare first, but this is how we're doing it. So obviously you can't go see your friends, so you can Zoom call them, phone call them, have a different, you know, way of communicating with them. I feel like that always helps. In the long run, that will help, because you still are communicating with people, just in a different way. Don't see it as you're not seeing anyone, just see it as you're communicating with people in a completely different way than you're used to. Self-isolation as well, like having to stay inside, you know, especially if you live in a flat or something, or you've only got certain restrictive room. Now you're allowed to exercise outside, get outside as much as you can, go for a walk, go and see, you know, the scenery. We're very lucky in England that we have the national parks and things like that. Obviously I wouldn't recommend going there, you know. Well, it's a really hard thing to suggest, because I don't know if I suggest going there or if I suggest, you know, I just feel like mental health right now is even more aware, like even more important, because a lot of people are struggling and they don't even know that they're struggling. Just putting on some Wilder skin food. My skincare is very minimal because I've had a skin peel, and it's super important that I keep my skin like with minimal ingredients. So lack of routine as well. I'm someone that literally lives for my routine, and the fact that I can't do my routine now, I'm not even joking, I do struggle with. I'm not gonna lie. I used to plan, I used to like to know what I'm doing, I used to do all of that, and now I love birds and bees. Now I've got to change, and it's adapting with the change. I saw a quote somewhere that is like, life is always changing, it's just how you change with it. And I feel like that's really true. Like, you do have to change with the times, and right now none of us are really happy that we've got to stay inside. You know, some people are, but some people aren't. People's lives have been disrupted, people's routines have been disrupted, but it's what you make of it. And think, this time next year, we're never going to have this time back. So I think that's so important to think, well, you got through it. SPF, sorry. Social distance as well I wanted to talk about, because obviously I don't know if you go out or not, but I've been out once or twice, you know, a week, and it's like I'm like swerving people, like walking around swerving people, and I'm thinking, this is so bizarre. Like, how am I supposed to mentally cope after this? And I'm just taking one day as it comes. I'm not giving advice, I'm just talking about topics that is relatable. And right now, I don't know what to suggest. I don't know if, you know, one thing works for one person and another thing works for another person. Everything works, you know, different things work for different people, because mental health is so individual and so important for, you know, to cope within your own way. Some people cope by exercising, you know, some people cope by talking, some people cope by reading. Some things that I've learned in COVID is I'm like a worm, like when it comes to like a worm? I'm like a worm when it comes to books. Every time I feel a bit stressed out or a bit anxious, I will literally just pick up my book, and then that's it. Like, that's me. Like, I will literally just sit there for like however long, 10-20 minutes. It's not like I've got anywhere to be, and just sit there and read, and it really just well, I don't know why my hand's up, but it just really helps me clear my mind. Some days I don't even do my hair. Some days it's just scraped back. Today, obviously, I felt like doing a half up, half down. So do things that make you feel good. I've done loads of videos on my channel, what I've learned in the last week, how to cope. You know, I don't watch the news. Some people see it as ignorant. I see it as I'm protecting my mind. Every time I do watch the news, I struggle to sleep after. I'm an awful sleeper anyway. Let's not even go there. And there is social anxiety disorder, which is basically when you get worried about other people. And I feel like a lot of more people are going to be struggling with that now. And just know you're not alone in this, and that there's loads of places you can go to help. Hold on, turning off my crumper. You know, so many people are going through what you're going through, and remember, you're not alone. You know, I think that's the main thing. Yes, my skin is absolutely awful because I had 2 skin pills, and you know, you got to do these things. I feel like with anxiety as well, people don't realise, but the fear of the unknown is also what people get scared about, and no one really knows what's going on, you know. None of us really know. I think with the current situation that we're in, COVID, and the way that we're living our lives is just so different to anything else that we've ever experienced. And it's okay to feel uncertain. It's okay to, you know, not know how you're feeling. It's okay to just sit there. You know, words can't describe what we're going through. No one can really understand what we're going through as a generation because we're living through it and no one's got prior experience to it. All you can do is move forward. What I've learned that works for me is I don't plan weeks and weeks and weeks in advance, because as we know, things can change dramatically. So I just plan like 3 or 4 days, and then I'm happy. I've got stuff to do. It just kind of keeps me going and kind of sticking to a similar routine of waking up and listening to my body, which I never really did before. Like I just battered it and got up when I needed to get up and slept for like 3-4 hours and went to the gym. Now it's just like things are more at my own pace, and I think I do appreciate that. Change of the hair. This is very slicked back. But yeah, no, I just wanted this to be a very vloggy, let's get ready. That's my 5-second get ready with me. Oh, I'm very dark here. And it's just so important to realise that we're all going through the same thing and we all go through the same emotions. I'm going to try and put you on my windowsill. I don't know how this is going to work out, but you know, we'll try. If you fall, you fall. Can't say I didn't try. Yes, so that's my massive tripod that I got. Should be really using that, but instead I'm using this. And I feel like it's okay to be uncertain. This topic of COVID and mental health, I feel like it's really going to be apparent in the future. I think I read a statistic that only 7% of what the NHS spend on, or something, 17%, is something with a 7 in, is on mental health. And I feel like now more than ever they're going to have to invest into a lot more. For me to come on the camera and literally just be talking how I normally am, I only put makeup on to film. So for me to just come on here barefaced, yes, this is my skin after a skin pill, but I had to get it done because my skin was just so awful. But realizing that no one is perfect, it's okay to feel uncertain, it's okay not to know how to feel. We're all in this together, and just find your coping mechanisms. You know, you might have had the best job, you might have enjoyed your job, you might have enjoyed what you was doing before, but now it's just a time to reflect and take that little bit of slow process. I don't know about you guys, but I'm obsessed with watching morning routines and evening routines and seeing what different people are doing in quarantine. And yeah, some places in the world that I watch, like I think I was watching Sophie from Australia, and she was basically going out like without a mask on or anything, and I was like, wow, like people in the UK still are like gas masked out and really taking precautions. But everywhere in the world, I pray for them. I pray for their health. I pray for everyone's health that is vulnerable or more likely to get it. I just think it's really important to be mindful of what everyone's going through. And that's why I just wanted to sit on the camera today and just speak about COVID and the current situation and the way we should deal with it. We are gonna, you know, if you haven't or you have, you lose loved ones, you're more careful around loved ones. For someone who spent a lot of time with their grandparents, who now can't even go and sit with them or like be with them, it's a very difficult concept. And I just feel if you don't speak about how you feel, you end up bottling it up. And I think that's something I've learned, especially in the last 4 days, is if you bottle your feelings up, yes, it's great. Yes, you're not bothering anyone. But in the long run, you're not going to be able to evoke how you're feeling. So I think it's super important to speak about how you feel and trying to think of other ways that you can talk about COVID. The disrupting of the routine. Establish a new routine. I think my first ever video on YouTube was what I've learned in the last week, and that kind of sums it up. You know, taking time for yourself, reading, doing things that you never normally used to do. For me, it was definitely not spending so long on traveling and like just go. And everyone that like used to say to me, oh my gosh, you're so go. And I used to be like, oh, shut up. Like, no, I'm not. But now looking back, where I was just continually having to schedule everything in, my life was a lot like that. I'm just trying to see what you can see behind me. Welcome. Yeah, that's my softboxes. There's 2 of them. But yeah, dance, listen to your favorite songs. Every day on Instagram, I'm doing something different. A random act of kindness, it could not even benefit you, but it could benefit someone around you. If you know that a neighbour needs some shopping, or if you know that you can go somewhere, or if you know that you could start something big. For example, with me, with COVID and mental health, how I'm coping is through YouTube and Instagram and trying to help people that I don't really know and make people realise that they're not alone. For example, like, not having nails on for the first time in 9 years is absolutely so weird for me. Like, it's taken me a week to get used to it, and it's just like my hands are so much smaller, and it's such a minuscule problem, but when you're used to that luxury, or getting your hair done, or I don't know, going outside to play football, or going to the pub, I don't know what you guys do, but now it's been stripped back from you. It's just basically back to basics and what people used to do, you know? I got a bit thirsty, so I thought I'd make a green tea while we're talking. I don't know about you guys, but another thing with COVID is all I want to do is tidy and clean, which I did anyway, but I'm doing it a lot more now. It's my favourite one. Shot in some of my videos, but it actually is. Working out for me as well has been super important. Just mentally releases me. Let's make a cup of tea together. I don't even think I introed this video properly, but it's a vloggy one, and it's just to sit down, let's have a conversation. I'm talking to my imaginary friends somewhere out there. My hair is huge. Here's a little tip if you don't like hot drinks. Well, I do love hot drinks, but I'm really impatient with it. I fill it up 3/4 and then fill the top quarter with cold water. Ooh, very hot. But yeah, I just felt like right now it's super important to talk about these current topics, and instead of just sitting there with a full face of makeup, and you know, as much as I love sit down videos, it just doesn't seem like right to be doing that type of video like about something that's so important to me. I just feel if I can try and build a community that is all going through similar feelings and emotions, we can all help each other out. And I've learned a lot about myself in the last 9-10 weeks, whatever it's been. I'm more resilient than I realised, but I've been really tested. And what, you know, I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but I've been through, I think, single-handedly the hardest month of my life. And I know that it will make me a stronger person, but there were days where I'd realised that I didn't know why Corona was happening or self-isolation was happening, and all I wanted to do was get in my car and go somewhere, but you can't. You just find other ways to cope. As a generation, we will be a lot stronger and we will stand united about these things. But yeah, I'm going to get on with my day. And I hope you enjoyed this little interrupted moment of Jasmine's thoughts while she's getting ready. And this is how I look every day, okay? I don't have makeup on. I have my glasses on, but you see the reflection on when I'm filming, so I'm just like, I'll just go blind for a bit. I'm hoping I'm in focus. I hope you liked this more relaxed style video. If you did, then hopefully I'm gonna have some more this week. But just let me know what you think of it, and I hope to see you in the, wow, hold on. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.